Baseline drive and throws it down with New Air.
You're good, nice, good job.
Good pass down low to Whittleville, throw it down. Green fires a three, and that's good.
Welcome to the Tim Miles Show.
This Moby Arena rocking tonight. Penn State Rams on the run out. Here's Dorian Green, he'll go coast to coast for the dunk. Rams have the numbers. Forecourt pull-up three. Eichmeyer, good!
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Tim Miles Coaches Show, where once again we'll talk some Colorado State basketball and also talk Colorado State athletics in general. Welcome, everybody. Brian Roth with you. We'll be joined by the coach, Tim Miles, here in the first couple of segments. Travis Franklin, the Rams senior, also joins us in the program, and we'll also talk a little CSU water polo with head coach Mike Moody. But first, talk basketball with Coach Tim Miles. And here we are in an empty Moby Arena, but I'll tell you what, was that not fun? The atmosphere in here on Saturday night, it was bursting at the seams.
Well, a night like that, is a treasure for everybody involved, I think. Being part of here, part of that environment was a really cool thing.
Yeah. Well, let's first talk about the game that set up the Saturday night at home against BYU. On the road Wednesday at UNLV, the Rams get the 15-point win, and we've talked about getting that big win over one of the top four teams. That's the next step for this basketball program, to start winning some of those games. But you do it on the road, and you do it in convincing fashion. Well,
I think that's as a coach, you're never as concerned with winning and losing as you are how you did it. How did we lose? Why did we lose? How did we win? And so that kind of process that you look for, and to go out against a team like UNLV, control the whole game. I don't think we're ever behind, and take a 14,000-seat arena and literally empty it, by the time the game ended, was a pretty cool night for the Rams.
Yeah, that was fun. There must have been 5 or 6 minutes to go, and people in droves are going to the exits. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that.
That's when I got nervous. I was like, oh, man, they all think we're going to win. Before you just kind of coach the game, and you don't put any judgment out there. You just kind of, you don't, coach out of fear, out of anything, out of anger. You just coach. All of a sudden, I'm seeing all these people leave, and I'm like, oh, no. What I mean? You kind of get a little bit,
But it was fun. It felt good, didn't it?
It felt great.
It was a great night for the Colorado State Rams. And we've talked about this over the last week, but you're on the road, and you have the lead, but then the home team's going to make runs. When they made runs and the crowd started to really get into it, you guys had an answer. I thought that was so key.
Our team has shown a lot of perseverance, whether it be from coming from behind and getting back into a game in a position to win, or the same thing. And the first time I recall it was at Colorado, which was we had a nice little lead in the first half, and they kind of made some runs at us in the first half, and we answered them. And I remember thinking, hey, we might have something here, and every team's different. You like to think just programmatically you've got that. Well, you don't. Different personalities, different young people come in. I've always felt we've had that with this team, and I think that's really, really important. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah. Defensively, you guys were outstanding. UNLV is a team that likes to get out and run, and you hold them to 63 points. I thought the defensive effort was fantastic.
Well, you got to control tempo, and the one thing you can't give up are quick baskets. And that was pretty good. You do that, you can't let them run offense off your offense. You pass it, they steal it, go down and dunk it. And they kind of roughed us up at the end of the first half some, but at the end of the day, I thought we ran a nice tempo on offense. We didn't allow them for a lot of easy scores, and that allowed us to separate.
So the 15-point win over UNLV set up a big game on Saturday night against 9th-ranked BYU. And in fact, it was the first sellout since 2003. Tim, they had students lining up for the student tickets. They were the only tickets available when it got to the afternoon on Saturday. They were lined up at 3:30, and they were lined up all the way past the indoor practice facility. I don't think we've ever seen an atmosphere like that here at Colorado State.
Well, one of those defining moments for you as a coach is when you see the little sign on the ticket office that says no more tickets are available. And I remember taking a picture of that, on Saturday. And that's just a cool moment. That's what you hope to, you work for and you strive for. And I can't just commend our fans enough, and especially our students. Our students, last year I thought were outstanding. They were really good. They came and they cheered loud, cheered proud, cheered for all the right things. And now this year they haven't had much of a chance, really. We haven't had a lot of home games during school that were important games that they felt like could make a difference, and our fans can make a difference. And I thought again, the discouraging fact is we had to turn fans away. I'm like, hey, let the fire marshal come close it down first, but at the same time, you have to be reasonable and prudent, and hopefully we can get that same kind of support here as we go down the way.
Yeah, I was at that 2003 game. It was against Wyoming, but it was probably 60-40 CSU fans and Wyoming fans. Here it was just about all Colorado State fans. Great atmosphere, although BYU, and we knew they were going to be a good team, led by Jimmer Fredette, leading scorer in the nation, but boy, did they get out to a hot start, and you guys really didn't have an answer for them defensively.
No, we didn't, and as we've been so solid defensively all throughout the conference year, BYU came out and just really put it on us, and it was hard for us to get them under control. And I tried to stay with our system and what we do, and that just doesn't always work, and especially against a team. And I think the analogy I try and explain to people is it's like if you're at the bottom of a hill and they're at the top of the hill running down at you, and you're trying to keep in front of you and catch up with them, you just never catch up. And they're that good. They're really good. They've got they don't have a bunch of depth, but they've got 6 guys that are outstanding.
Yeah, Jimmer Fredette goes for 42 points in the contest, but in the second half, I thought you guys played an outstanding half of basketball, especially defensively. It was a completely different basketball game.
I thought we did a decent job on Jimmer in the second half. First half, he kind of got what he wanted. At the same time, if you look at his stats, he had 24 field goal attempts and 17 free throws. He took 41 shots. And that's a lot of shots. You want it to be a high volume thing. You don't want him scoring 42 on 25 attempts with free throws and field goals. Yeah. So I thought we were okay that way, And I thought the second half we were much better. And there was a long time in the second half we held them in the 30s from the field goal percentage. Now at the end, we pressed. They got some run out. They got 3 pretty easy shots on us. I thought that hurt your field goal percentage. But for the most part, I thought we did a nice job the second half.
Yeah, Rams were able to get as close as 6. They weren't able to draw any closer, and BYU ends up winning by 9. With the loss, Rams go to 13-6, but still a lot of big games coming up here in conference play. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll be joined by senior Travis Franklin, who's having an outstanding season. That's next here on the Tim Miles Show.
Rams forecourt. Here's Franklin driving left down the lane, lays it in for 2.